Yeah.
Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. Will your team fall victim to the trap? That is what we are discussing today as we are breaking down every Big 12 team's biggest trap game heading into this 2022 college football season. Which game on their schedule is one they should be cautious of? A game where they might be favored but might slip up or might get a test that's a lot more difficult than they expected. We're breaking everything down today, guys, and we're going to go ahead and jump right on into our list, starting up at the top with Oklahoma. We believe their biggest trap game on their schedule early in the year, September 17th at Nebraska. This is Brent Venables' first true test, first big test. Oklahoma has a couple cupcake teams early in the year, first two games. In their third game, they travel to Lincoln. They travel to a Nebraska team that should be drastically improved from last year, last year's best 3-9 team ever. A Nebraska team that has a new quarterback, a new offensive coordinator, and has one of the most passionate fan bases in all of college football that will make this environment extremely difficult for an Oklahoma team dealing with a new head coach and a new quarterback in Dylan Gabriel coming over from UCF. So to me, that's the biggest trap game, and it's going to be an opportunity for all of us to see what Oklahoma is really made of heading into 2022. Oklahoma State, a team that nearly won the Big 12 championship last year. Their biggest trap game for us, October 15th at TCU. TCU dealing with a new coach as well, Sonny Dykes coming in from SMU. They have a dangerous dual-threat quarterback in Max Duggan, and we have seen some classics between Oklahoma State and TCU in recent years. We see some upsets between these two teams, both in Fort Worth and in Stillwater. This game, of course, is going to be at TCU, and this is a game where we easily could see the Cowboys slipping up. A Cowboys team that, once again, is looking to get back to the Big 12 championship game, has the potential to make the college football playoff, but if they slip up to TCU, it could ruin everything. So that, to me, is the biggest trap game right there in the middle of the season. Baylor, the reigning Big 12 champions, won the Sugar Bowl last year, won 12 games last year. Their biggest trap game comes on a Thursday night at West Virginia. So already a Thursday night, that's tough enough as it is. Those midweek games are always very tricky and very scary. But a midweek game on the road against a West Virginia team that needs a big year and now has one of the best quarterbacks, some would say, in the country, in JT Daniels, who finally found himself a home after transferring from Georgia. So West Virginia in Morgantown at night, JT Daniels. This just screams trap game if I'm Baylor, and screams possible upset for West Virginia to pull off the upset over the reigning Big 12 champions. So Baylor certainly needs to be mindful of the Mountaineers. Again, a team that needs a big year under Neil Brown. Struggled a little bit last year. Yes, made a bowl game, but did not look impressive. They need to step up now in 2022. Iowa State, November 19th against Texas Tech. It was kind of tough to find a trap game for the Cyclones because we do know that this is going to be a year where Iowa State more than likely takes a step back. They were disappointing last year and now lose so much talent from last year's squad, including their quarterback in Brock Purdy and including their star running back in Breece Hall. So where was the trap game for the Cyclones? We think it could come towards the end of the year against Texas Tech, a team they fell to in Lubbock last year. Also could be in that season finale at TCU. We could see that being a trap game as well, especially if Iowa State is battling for a postseason berth at the end of the year. If they're around 4 or 5 wins in those final 2 games of the year against Texas Tech and TCU, to me those would scream trap games because that could obviously send them to the postseason or keep them home for the holidays. So we got that game against Texas Tech more than anything, though. A little bit of a revenge on Iowa State's mind. They were upset by the Red Raiders last year. Can they redeem themselves now on the 19th against a Red Raiders squad that might be relatively solid under Joey McGuire? Kansas State, October 22nd at TCU. TCU has an opportunity, guys, with the coach they have and the talent they have. They have the opportunity to spoil a lot of seasons this year. They have the opportunity to be that sneaky dark horse team in the Big 12. And that's why we have Kansas State as that being the trap game for the Wildcats. Because we just talked about it a second ago with Oklahoma State. TCU has that talent. It is on the road for the Wildcats. We've seen some close battles in recent years between Kansas State and TCU. So will we see one again in 2022? And can TCU kind of pull off this mini upset possibly over a Wildcats team that should be solid again under Chris Kleiman? Added Adrian Martinez, and to me will have one of the better quarterback running back duos in the conference with Adrian Martinez and Deuce Vaughn. West Virginia, their trap game is in September against Virginia Tech. We don't know what to expect from Virginia Tech, guys. Obviously, a team that is dealing with a new head coach in Brent Pry, has quarterback questions, and is in utter rebuild mode. But we've got a bit of a rivalry matchup here on the road in Blacksburg. That is not by any means an easy place to play. Not by any means an easy place to play. Blacksburg, I don't care how good Virginia Tech is, it is not easy to play there. In West Virginia, JT Daniels could be the savior on offense, can't save the defense. He can't save the entire team. So it's a huge get, but you're still going to have a lot more playmakers than just one guy. So we're not going to say West Virginia is going to become elite contenders in the Big 12 just because of his addition. This road at Virginia Tech spells trap because if West Virginia can win this game, again, another midweek game we should add, they could be 3-1, 4-0, whatever they might be, heading into the month of October. Things are looking good. You drop this game, especially if Virginia Tech's not that great, things could begin to spiral for Neil Brown in Morgantown. Texas, we think their trap game's on the road against Kansas State. We have definitely seen tons of close matchups between Texas and Kansas State. Just saw one last year. Didn't matter for Texas. They beat Kansas State, still finished the year 5-7. But what was the final score? Like 22-17? The Wildcats consistently have had the talent to hang with the Longhorns, who have been very disappointing for, I'd say, about the last decade or so. And now you look at a Kansas State team, again, has this game in Manhattan, beginning of November. Who knows what Texas is going to be looking like, but if they're solid, if they're in the hunt for the Big 12 title, this could be the game where it all comes crashing down. Manhattan, not an easy place to play, and obviously the history between these two. Kansas State, not afraid of the Longhorns, and again, they have the talent to win this game. TCU, we've talked about them as being the team that could spoil some things and be the trap games for others. Their trap game is SMU on September 24th. Why is this a trap game? Because SMU, one, has the talent to beat them, has a great offense, great wide receiver in Rashee Rice, got a great quarterback in Tanner Mordecai, got a great coach in Rhett Lashley. But this is also Sonny Dykes' former team. Sonny Dykes is now the head coach at TCU. He was the head coach at SMU just last year. So obviously SMU has the talent to take down TCU. SMU gets to host this game. They're going to be hosting their former coach just 1 year after he left. A lot of emotions riding in this game. To me, it screams trap game for TCU, especially a Horned Frogs team that's just really the ultimate goal this year is just to get to the postseason, start to build themselves back up, win 6 or 7 games, and start to become relevant again. SMU could slow that process down just a little bit. Final 2 teams here, Texas Tech. Their biggest trap game, September 10th against Houston. Why? Because Houston's one of the best group of 5 teams in the entire country. Last year it was Cincinnati. Cincinnati will be a threat in the American again, will be a threat on the national stage. Houston might win the American this year. They have all the key pieces there. Great quarterback, great running back, great wide receiver. The big 3 are back for Houston. Dana Holgorsen has a pretty solid defense year in and year out. This is a Houston team that won 12 games last year. Texas, in just the second week under Joey McGuire, probably still going to be trying to find some of their pieces, trying to figure things out. Houston can come in here and win this game in Lubbock. No doubt about it. Major trap game for the Red Raiders. And finally, Kansas, their trap game for us is the Red Raiders. Typically, it's very difficult to find a trap game for the worst teams in the conference. Kansas right now is expected to be the worst team in the Big 12 once again, despite showing signs of life. But if I had to choose one trap game for them, it would be at Texas Tech because it is the game before Kansas plays Texas. And even though Kansas beat Texas last year, you know the emotions are going to be there. They beat them in Austin. They're now going to have a chance to beat them at home. There's a lot of emotions riding there. They want to try to prove that last year wasn't a fluke. The Jayhawks are slowly getting there under Lance Leipold, but if there's one game where I could see Kansas starting to look ahead to the next week or maybe falling short, especially if the Jayhawks start to surprise a little bit, it would be this game right here against a Texas Tech team that's going to be semi-decent, not great, not bad, semi-decent, winnable for the Jayhawks, but one where they could ultimately fall short. It's on the road in Lubbock. So there you go, guys. There are your trap games for every single Big 12 team. Do you agree or disagree? Are you scared for some of these games if this is one of your teams up here? We want to hear from you. And of course, we're going to have our predictions for all of these trap games and all the games on all of these team schedules coming up here in just a few weeks when we launch prediction season. You do not want to miss out on that. But until then, guys, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below. Become a part of what we're building here at the channel, guys. Become a part of our GE Nation so we can provide you with college football content year-round. We do not want you to miss out on it, guys. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.